You're watching South Asia Newsline and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Friday, the 23rd of February. PM Modi slams India alliance over politics based on dynasty and caste. IMF willing to work with new Pakistan government ignores ex-PM Khan's demand. And Kashmiri activist rebukes Pakistan's JNK propaganda. And now for all the details. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday visited his parliamentary constituency Varanasi to inaugurate multiple development projects and attended an event at the Banaras Hindu University. Taking part in the 647th birth anniversary of Sant Ravidas in Varanasi, PM Modi took a jibe at the opposition INDI alliance and said they work only for their family, not the welfare of the poor. He stated that equality comes only by giving priority to the deprived society and that his government has been committed to serving every section of the society and their development.
इंडी गठबंधन के लोग दलित, वंचित के हित की योजनाओं का विरोध करते हैं और सच्चाई ये है कि ये लोग जाति की भलाई के नाम पर अपने परिवार के स्वार्थ की राजनीति करते हैं.
Later in the day, the Prime Minister inaugurated and led the foundation of projects worth more than Rs 13,000 crore in Varanasi. These projects include multiple roads, a cooking gas bottling plant, a milk processing unit and a silk fabric printing common facility center for weavers. And highlighting the improvement in bilateral ties between China and Russia, India's Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar on Friday said betterment in ties of the two Asian giants is not only in Indian interest but will also cater to global interest. Speaking at a panel discussion during the Raisina dialogue, Jaishankar said since doors have been shut to Moscow in the West, it is turning more to Asia or to other parts of the world which are not West.
It's kind of funny. On the one hand, you have people whose sets of policies bring the two together. And then you say, beware of them coming together. So, okay, I mean, I can see the reality out there, but I think it's very much in, certainly in Indian national interest, but a lot of doors have been shut to Russia and the West. Okay, we know the reasons why. Russia is turning more to Asia or to parts of the world which are not West. Now, I think it makes sense to give Russia multiple options. If we railroad Russia into a single option and say, that's really bad because that's the outcome, then you are making it a kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Talking about India and China economically, Jaishankar highlighted that both countries are rising but at a different pace with different starting points. But it's in the nature of things that at some stage everybody flattens out. So there will be a period where they will be flattening out and we will be growing, he added. Giving example of the situation at the line of actual control, he said the challenge will be to maintain equilibrium when one will try to press for their advantage. In a big blow to Pakistan's jailed former Prime Minister Imran Khan, IMF on Thursday said that it is willing to work with new government while ignoring Khan's demand from the lender to hold an audit of the election results before approving any new loan for Islamabad. Julie Kozak, IMF's Director Communications, said the lender brought total disbursements under the standby arrangements to $1.9 billion, adding that the program is supporting efforts to stabilize the economy. The official also appreciated the interim setup, saying during the caretaker government's tenure, the authorities maintained economic stability. Pakistan plans to seek a new loan of at least $6 billion from the IMF, reports suggested, to help the incoming government repay billions in debt due this year. Ahead of the bailout, Pakistan had to undertake tough measures, including revising its budget and increases in electricity and natural gas prices. Meanwhile, Kashmiri activist and journalist Yana Mir this week strongly criticized Pakistan propaganda campaign to tarnish India's reputation on the global stage. She stated that she is not Malala Yusufzai, who had to flee Pakistan because of terrorism. Instead, she feels safe in India.
Kashmiri activist Yana Mir denounced Pakistan's fake narrative on Jammu and Kashmir at an event in the UK Parliament this week. Yana Mir, a renowned journalist, was in UK to receive the Diversity Ambassador Award for championing diversity in Kashmir. She strongly reaffirmed that Kashmir is an integral part of India and that she is not Malala Yusufzai, as she is safe and free in India. In 2012, Malala, a Pakistani activist, was shot by Taliban terrorists and had to flee her country because of severe threats of terrorism. Offsetting the Pakistani narrative, she outlined the progress in Jammu and Kashmir following the abrogation of Article 370 by the Indian government. She also commended the Indian Army's efforts in the region and called out international media's propaganda, asking media groups to stop reporting from their living rooms.
A day after Opposition Rastriya Prajatantra Party submitted a demand charter regarding reinstatement of Nepal's as Hindu state to Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal, members of the country's largest party, Nepali Congress, have also voiced support for the demand. Over 1,000 signatures demanding Hindu state have been collected from the attendees of the General Meeting of Nepali Congress and have been submitted to Party President Sher Bahadur Deuba. The signatories included 42 central members including Shashank Koirala. Reports have suggested in past few months there has been a rise in calls for the restoration of Hindu state, which was abolished after 2007 as the 1990 version of the constitution became defunct. A Sri Lankan minister on Thursday called India as Big Brother and thanked Prime Minister Narendra Modi for helping the island nation during its difficult times. Tharaka Balasurya, Sri Lanka's Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, who was in New Delhi, said that Sri Lanka wants to work in partnership with India and invited Indian companies to invest in its countries. Calling ties between India and Sri Lanka special, he said that the two nations have civilizational links. Balasurya said Sri Lanka is looking at becoming a developed nation by 2048. The South Asian country defaulted on its overseas debt in May 2022 and is now gradually recovering with help from the IMF and creditor nations. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time next week. Have a great weekend. Good night.